Hi, we just got back from Universal and the brand new Epic Universe, and we have all the tips and tricks you need to know before you take your trip to Epic Universe.
Welcome to Travel Talk, where our expert magical memory planners discuss ways you can have fun, memorable, and stress-free family vacations.
Hi, and welcome to our episode of Travel Talk. I am so excited because we had the amazing opportunity to go to Epic Universe as part of our conference with Universal Parks and Resorts. And so, on this episode, we're going to talk to you about the 5 new worlds to explore at Epic Universe. But more than that, because there's a lot of stuff out there that'll tell you, what each park has and what each area has and what rides they have. But really, what we want to share with you is some of our insider tips and information that you need to know before you go to Epic. Hopefully, things that will make your trip easier and even better. So, first, I just want to show you, if you're watching our video on YouTube, you'll see this, but we had the amazing opportunity to go down to see Epic Universe May 21st. So the park opened to the public May 22nd. It had previews from mid-April to the end of toward the end of May. But May 21st, it was open for media and for the You Preferred conference, which we are a member of as being a Universal Specialist agency. And so we got to go down and see Epic Universe. We got to spend the majority of the day there, and then we went back in the evening for the blue carpet event. And so I was able to really see the park and get to learn a lot about it and learn a lot of tips and tricks that I'm going to share with you today. So, the main central area of the park is called Celestial Park. This is the entrance all the way down like the central corridor. There's beautiful fountains, there's a couple of attractions, there's some really, really good restaurants. One of them is called Blue Dragon, which we didn't get a chance to eat in, but this is going to be like your most signature top end restaurant, and it is going to be probably the best theme park food restaurant. Like, if they do a competition, it'll win. So that is something to keep an eye out. But what I wanted to share with you was a little bit more about Stardust Racers. So this is one of the big attractions as far as as a thrill ride. It does have a height requirement of 48 inches. And when you get up there, it's like two dueling uh roller coasters that are going at the same time, kind of like two comets that are chasing each other. And that's actually what makes this attraction so thrilling. There's launches, it goes really fast, but the two tracks that are so close together that you can like look into the eyeballs of the people on the other coaster is pretty amazing. When you get up there, there are two choices. There's yellow and there's green. Let this not confuse you. They are really not that different. I rode it 3 times. I rode it twice yellow and once green, and I really don't feel that there was a significant difference between the two. They're both extremely thrilling, so you should know that. The other thing is we rode it during the daytime and we rode it during the night. During the night, this ride is incredible, and that's why if I wanted to bring it up. It is the track is not lit. Only the coaster is lit. So when you're on this attraction at night, you will not really see where you're going. You will have no idea where you are, what to expect. It's almost like Space Mountain, but outside at night. So highly recommend this if you're looking for a thrilling roller coaster, and give it a shot at night. I think you'll find that it is a little bit of a different experience and super fun. So the next world I want to take you into is Isle of Berk. So How to Train a Dragon, Isle of Berk. This is the most family friendly section, I would say, with the most amount of space for the kids to play and run around. There is obviously dragons everywhere. There's a really great show. There's a free play area for the kids called Viking Training Camp, so they can kind of play in there and do things. There's a water ride where you will get soaked. Like, this is not wet, this is like soaked. So that is the case there. And they have some really unique meet and greets there. And so I wanted to point out that you can meet um, Toothless. And that's a really neat experience to pet him. He interacts with you, he talks to you. There's also a baby dragon that floats around the land that you might catch. You also might be able to meet Hiccup as well. But this is a really unique opportunity to meet a character like Toothless, and of course, a generic Viking that is there to introduce you and teach you about it. Another thing I really wanted to point out about this land, well, I'll touch on the show real fast. The Untrainable Dragon, great show, super family friendly, not overly long. Key components, it's inside, it's air conditioned, and there's seating. So, always a good idea to incorporate a little bit of that into your day when you're hot. So, really great show, super fun. And I want to highlight a food item. And I feel like these have been around the internet, but I still feel like I have to talk about it. The PB&J mac and cheese cone. So I initially thought we were going to skip this. Ended up having a taster of it in the evening and then went back and had a whole second one. So it really is very good. PB&J is not peanut butter and jelly. It is pork, bacon, and jam. It is the main stand that we went to was Hooligans Grog and Gruel, which is on the left side as you're walking into the land, kind of around the area where the Viking training camp is, which is a great place to have a snack, maybe while the kids are in Viking training camp, and grab one of these for yourself. You can also mobile order these at the Spitfire Grill, which is on the other side. So basically, wherever you are in this land, you can get one of these babies. They have a kind of a standard mac and cheese one, but I just wanted to point this one out because it really was surprisingly how good it was. So the top is a barbecue harissa pulled pork. That's the pork piece, and then there's a peanut and bacon jam for the B and the J. And then there's some parsley and stuff. And the bread, and I'm kind of a bread snob. I make my own bread sometimes. I am a little bit of a bread snob. The cone that this thing is in is ridiculously good. It's like an everything bagel, kind of meets a roll, but it is unbelievably good. So highly recommend this little, I don't even know if it's really a snack. It's pretty filling. But definitely something you might want to check out when you're in that area. All right, so let us zip over to the Ministry of Magic. This land is so cool. When you go into the portal, you will see a ginormous wand on the top of the portal to signify that that is where you're going. This land, this world is, the Ministry of Magic, and essentially you're going into France. So while you're wandering around and enjoying this area, you're kind of on like a French street. There's a cafe, there's outdoor seating, there's a candy shop. There's a really cool show in there as well, but just lots of areas that you can wander around as if you're floating around Paris. There is a little bit of a dark area in the back if you were looking for some trouble. Little, little off the beaten path area as well if you I don't know, are interested in the dark arts or anything like that. But they're just a beautiful land. It's like the type of places like I just want to sit here at one of these cafe tables and just pretend I'm in France for the afternoon. It just so beautiful and so great. So Ministry of Magic, of course, is the attraction there that is getting probably the most hype. There is not currently at this time an express pass available for Ministry of Magic. So this is kind of it's available during early entry if you're staying on site. So this is kind of the place a lot of people are beelining it to try to get in line as soon as you can. So that is the ride there. There is a single rider for that, as far as I know. So that might be an option for you, but that's where all the hype is. But of course, I am all about the food, if you've listened to me before. So there are two foods to note in this land or this world that I have to bring up. First of all, there's a butterbeer crepe. I don't know where you could go wrong with that. I love crepes and butterbeer, so that's amazing. Very, very delicious. Has a shortbread cookie, some strawberries, whipped cream. Obviously, the crepe. It has a like a butterbeer flavored filling, like a butterscotch creamy filling, some fresh whipped cream. Delicious snack. Wonderful. The other thing to note is this lavender lemonade. And this is like another thing. And this is just a thing about Epic in general. Like they just take things off the map. Like they just knock it out of the park. Like all this food and stuff is just like all over the internet. I don't particularly care for lemonade. I don't like sweet drinks. I don't generally drink soda. I loved the lavender lemonade. I may have had three of them. Obviously they're non-alcoholic. They're in a little shop kind of in the back right as you head into this whole world. You're going to go kind of toward the center and then head all the way to the right. That's where you'll find it. The place is called Bar Moonshine. There are other adult beverages there. And it is my understanding that if you wanted to kick your lemonade up a notch, they do have options for that as well. But super, super delicious and so fun for the kids to have them go into, a shop and be able to get a fun drink. And then it's purple. So, again, where can we go wrong here? So definitely factor that in, bring that with you. Go hit that up maybe before you get into Ministry of Magic and bring that with you. So that is the highlights of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. So the next land or world we're going to cross over into is the Dark Universe. So this is now on the other side of the park. I'm kind of going around counterclockwise, which is the path that I took when I was there. So the next world is Dark Universe. This is actually a really interesting land, and I really wanted to point out how it's really not that scary on its own. I mean, it has like a creepiness to it, but it's not really overly scary. It is a very dark area in the sense that it was very light absorbing. We were there at lunchtime in the middle of the day, and what a great part of the park to be in the heat of the day. And I'll get into that a little bit. That's my tip is, lunchtime in Dark Universe. So it is a very kind of like light absorbing area, so it did not feel as difficult as maybe other areas in the park might be in the heat of the day. One of the new experiences I wanted to point out is the Monster Makeover. This is a new experience where you're able to go on and kind of get a monster makeover. Your face painted and different adornments or whatever to do a little makeover there. So this is a fun experience. This could be for anyone. It's not just for like little kids. And there are two rides there. There is the Frankenstein ride, which is called Monsters Unchained. Of course, you can go into the castle of Frankenstein's. I think it's his daughter, granddaughter, and the monsters are loose and there's a problem. And of course, you're a part of it. So Monsters Unchained was really fun. But the Curse of the Werewolf was what really surprised me. That one is 40-inch height requirement. That's like an outdoor, and I want to say roller coaster because there's like a track, but it goes in like every which way direction. And I think every time you go, it's maybe a little bit different because there's passengers. If you picture a circle, there's two people facing one way and then two people back to back facing the other way. And so as you're on the ride, you're kind of free spinning depending on I guess the weight of the people in the car. So it kind of twists and turns as you go. So you kind of go up a hill and then you stop and then you go backwards, but then your car might flip around. So now you're face to face with another pair of people. I think over the course of the ride, we kept seeing, we're like, new friends. You keep turning and facing other people. So really unique ride experience. So highly recommend that. That was really fun, Curse of the Werewolf. But there is some dining in this area as well. So I wanted to touch on that because there's both a quick service dining and a table service. So the quick service dining is Das Steakhouse. And that, again, heat of the day, great place for lunch. It's quick service. You go right inside, you order from the table. It's a very dark restaurant, so it takes a minute for your eyes to get adjusted, but it's very cooling. It's inside. You have these big, heavy chairs, like you're in in an old castle. So that's really fun. And the food there is super elevated. So I had a Forager salad, which was a salad with beets and blue cheese and mushrooms. It had a pomegranate dressing, and I had it with salmon, which I was like, oh, yay. I mean, what a great lunch. There was other salmon dishes there. The salmon was fantastic. For the family, for the kids, they had kids meals there that were like a meatloaf and just a variety of things. They have or chicken on a stick. I think they call it chicken on a steak. So you kind of have that dark universe theme in there, but lots of really good food, nice place to cool down. They have the refillable cup machines, the Coca-Cola Freestyle machines in there, so you can get a drink, take your time, eat your lunch, mobile order from your table. So really great option. If you're looking for a sit-down meal, there is a very nice Burning Blade Tavern in the back of the land that you could go to. But I just wanted to highlight that steakhouse because I think that it being inside and air conditioned and the darker, it's just a really nice break from the day. If the weather's hot or rainy or anything like that, a great indoor dining location. All right, let's go to Super Nintendo World. So This is like ridiculous for a lot of us in my age range because like we played this as a kid and now you're like playing the game, right? So this is a really cool area. So to point out a few things here, this area is full of super bright colors, as you would expect. A lot of background noise, so super stimulating. I feel like that's all over. People have been talking about that, which can make it a little hard at the beginning or the heat of the day. I was in there in the middle of the day, super hot. Went in there in the evening, fantastic. So definitely something you might want to do in the evening because there's so much interaction to do all around that you want to be outside doing these things. So the land or the world is kind of broken up into two areas because you have the Donkey Kong area and then the Super Mario Brothers area. So different things in different areas, lots of places to go around. But the main thing about it is that it is like super interactive. And in order to interact, enter power up bands. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the power up bands and bring everyone up to speed on that. Not something you have to buy if you don't want to. You can use them and participate in the land, or you can skip them and you can just ride the attractions, get food, take photos, and then that type of thing and leave. Kind of like in the wizarding world of Harry Potter, having a wand. It's an elevated experience. There's more things to do. You can certainly enjoy the land without a wand as well. The nice thing is the power-up bands, I think, cost a little bit less than some of the wands. So currently, they're just under $50 for a power-up band. They are like a slap bracelet, if you remember those. That is how they kind of adhere. You wear them. And we had a lot of fun. So currently, I think there's 8 different types of bands. So you've got Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach. I don't even know the names of all these characters. There's a couple of Donkey Kong ones, Yoshi. Um, so those are all, or Toad is one. Toad is the one I got, so I should know that one. But anyway, so these are the power bands. You can buy them when you get there. They're available throughout the land in the different stores and whatnot. So I challenge you to go find us on Instagram and check out our reels, and you will see quite a few videos of us running around having fun with our power up band. If you hit a coin and there's no coin there, it gives you like a negative sound. And then if there's a coin there, it dings for you. And there's a couple different ways you can use the band. So I challenge you to head over to Instagram and check that out. But they're pretty easy once you go in and buy one. There's instructions inside of the band. Essentially, you're going to go in the Universal app. You're going to go to the map. On the map, you'll find Super Nintendo World. And in that world, aside from like the attractions and the dining little markers, there's a flag. Click the flag and it's going to say select play now. So select play now. And it's going to open up to a screen that is like kind of your home page then for playing all these games and whatnot. And so you'll go to options, add a band, scan the back of the band, and you're all set to go. You can give yourself a name. You can have ones for each person in your family. Everybody, I don't think, has to have their own app, but you can switch between the bands and then play the games, earn the stars and the trophies and the bananas and the coins and all these things. The other thing is it does interact with the Mario Kart ride. So if you are doing that ride and you have a band, once you get in your vehicle, you're going to tap your band to the steering wheel to link it. Once it's linked, it's going to kind of keep track of your game. Of course, you'll get like prizes and things within your app, but also when you ride it again, it's going to elevate the experience because it's going to know that you rode before. So this is going to move you through Mario Kart. And just like when you're playing the game on the gaming system and you get to level 1, level 2, level 3, and you want to level up, you're doing that if you have a power up band when you ride the attraction. So that is super fun. And then I want to talk about lockers. Lockers are a huge deal at Universal. It has everything to do, it's a lot of the coaching we do for clients, answering questions about lockers, understanding their size, what they can contain, what you can put in them, how they work, your ticket, and all that stuff. So the lockers are amazing at Epic Universe. They have really gotten a handle on what we're doing with the lockers. And so, first of all, they've changed them to photo validation. So you don't have to scan your ticket. You just look at the screen. If you're tall, you might have to crouch down a little bit, but you look at the screen, it scans your face, it pops open a locker, just like it would previously when you would scan your ticket. Locker pops open, you put all your stuff in it. The second thing that is amazing is the lockers are much bigger. They are kind of the size of the paid lockers in the older parks. So you can fit one of their cups. If you have a freestyle cup, you can put it in the locker standing up. So that's amazing. You can put a small backpack in there. It is no longer like a mail slot. It is more of a square space and can fit everything. And then thirdly, in addition to it being photo validation and it being larger, it is dual-sided. So if you are familiar with Velocicoaster, you put everything in on one side, make sure it's all tucked in past the yellow line, close your locker, remember your section, and when you come out the other side, your door will pop open and all your stuff will be pulled out on the other side. So you don't have the bottleneck that you used to have or that you have at the other parks trying to get everybody in and out at the same time. So the locker situation is amazing at Epic Universe. So that makes that all a little bit easier for you. So let us talk about tickets, because if you want to go to Epic, tickets are an important part of that. You need tickets. So there's two pieces of this. First is 2025. If you are planning to go to Epic Universe in 2025, you will need to buy a ticket specific to Epic Universe. You will either buy a multi-day ticket, like a 3-day park to park or 3-park or 2-park to park, something along those lines, plus Epic will be part of that wording, plus Epic. Or you can buy a 1-day Epic ticket. If you wanted to do 2 days of Epic on your trip, you could buy 2 1-day tickets to Epic. You could buy a multiple day ticket plus Epic, and then also buy a 1-day ticket to Epic. So if it's the multiple day plus Epic, you can use that Epic day anytime within your stay. You don't have to pick the day ahead of time. If you buy a 1-day Epic ticket, you will be selecting the day when you purchase the ticket. Other than that, you don't need to make a park reservation or anything of that sort. That goes through 2025. 2026 tickets are different. So a 2026 ticket, it's included in the ticket. So if you buy a park to park, it will include Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios, and Epic. Okay, so you're just buying like a 4-day park to park ticket. You're getting 4 days to switch around between any of those 3 parks you want as often as you want. You can spend every day in Epic if you want. You can start every morning in Epic and then go over to Islands afterwards. It's just a 4-day ticket for all 3 of those if it's a park to park. If you want to include Volcano Bay, you're just going to do with water park. So a 3-day park to park with water park, then it includes Volcano Bay. If it doesn't say with water park, doesn't include Volcano Bay. But if it's a park to park, it's going to include all 3 of the parks. No park reservations, no deciding, which one you're going to do. So super flexible in 2026. You'll be able to go as many times as you want to Epic during your ticket and hop or go park to park between Epic and the other parks. There's some transportation options there to go from one to the other. If you're at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, you'll just go to City Walk and there's a bus that goes over to Epic that way. If you're Epic, take a bus back to City Walk. So, relatively easy to get around, but just know the difference between 2025 tickets and 2026 tickets. If that influences when you want to go, or make sure you are purchasing the right type of ticket, or more importantly, talk to one of our magical memory planners and we'll make sure you have the right ticket. The other thing I wanted to talk about is Express Pass. So we all know from the past that there are 3 resorts that include unlimited Express Pass. That's Hard Rock, Portofino Bay, and Royal Pacific. And they include unlimited Express Pass at 2 parks, Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. Nothing has changed. Okay, I will say it again, nothing has changed. So those 3 resorts offer unlimited Express Pass to the same 2 parks that they always have. They don't offer Express to Volcano Bay and they don't offer Express to Epic. There are no new hotels that offer Express Pass because nothing has changed. So the new Grand Helios Hotel, beautiful, does not offer Express. Sapphire Falls, which is now grouped together as one of the signature hotels, does not offer Express. It is the same 3 hotels that offer the same Express Pass to the same 2 parks. That being said, Epic Universe does have Express, as does Volcano Bay, if you didn't know that. It is just a separate ticket. So forever and always, that is not going to change. So that is the way it is always going to be. So if you are doing a 3-day trip to Express Pass and, or sorry, 3-day trip to Epic Universe, and all you want to do is Epic Universe, it is of no benefit necessarily to stay at a hotel that offers unlimited Express Pass. So, and if you stay at a resort with unlimited Express Pass, you would still have to buy Express Pass for the days that you want to go to Epic Universe. Okay. So just keep in mind that Express Pass is a separate ticket for Epic Universe. And it is only what we would call Express Pass, not unlimited Express Pass. So if you purchase Express Pass for Epic Universe, it's one time per attraction that's included with Express Pass. It's not the unlimited. It's just single use, one time per attraction, Express Pass. Okay. Again, we've got all this down. It might seem overwhelming. It might seem like too much information. But please remember that your magical memory planner advisor, we know all this inside and out. So we will make sure you have the right tickets for the right things and ask you the questions to make sure you're getting what you are expecting to have when you get there. Okay. Super important. All right, so as we wrap up, I just want to remind you that we have an amazing YouTube channel. These podcasts, especially if you're listening to it, is also available on our YouTube channel, and it comes with a whole bunch of videos. So if you wanted to see that PB&J mac and cheese, if you wanted to see the power-up bands or anything else, or see the lockers, jump over to our YouTube channel if you are listening to this on a podcast platform and check that out. And also follow us on social media because we have lots of reels around from around the park showing us collecting coins and doing the different activities and our food and our reviews of food and all kinds of things. So we would love to see you there. And if you stop by either of those places, leave us a comment. Let us know that you saw us and found us from our podcast because we would love to know that. So I hope you enjoyed today. It is an amazing park. We're so excited. We have our next trip to Epic already planned for the end of August. And we are just so excited that this new park is on the scene. And I think it's a game changer for Universal. And now it is the perfect destination for even 2025 or 2026 to incorporate that into your plans. And we're here to help.